Everyone, and welcome to our Instagram live event. My name is Paul Arsov and I'm the founder of the Decentralized Web project. The topic of our educational event today is touching on economy, and exactly the title of the talk today is Inflation Seen as a Perverse Redistribution from Wages to Profits. And as usual, at the point of starting of our presentation, I'm going to tell you a little bit about our project. We are building a decentralized communication and advertising platform, and recently we did release a marketplace with our first collection of NFTs. What is interesting, what is unique and special about our NFTs is that they're based on three-dimensional objects. Ordinary NFT marketplaces, they are predominantly based on two-dimensional flat and static JPEG and PNG images. But what we have is what we believe is the next generation of NFTs, which is going to be based on three-dimensional images, and it is also going to have multiple additional capabilities for the NFTs. Usually, three-dimensional objects, they're loaded by a 3D software engine, and most often this 3D software engine is game engine. There are two most popular game engines which creators of 3D objects are using. One of them is called Unity, and the other one is called Unreal. But at the start of our project, we were thinking of what game engine to use, whether standard game engine, or we did develop our own game engine. And we decided from the very beginning to develop and then use our own 3D software engine. So what it does is it opens a window on a two-dimensional computer screen. It loads the 3D object in the screen in this window, and it starts animating this 3D object in a way of moving it in a random fashion around this window. In addition to opening a window, loading and animating the 3D software object, our 3D engine does provide additional list of capabilities. The first capability for our 3D NFTs given by the 3D software engine is the capability of speaking. The 3D NFTs can speak in one of three different voices. The 3D NFTs can speak either in a male voice, or in a female voice, or in a whisper kind of a voice. In addition to this, the 3D NFTs have flavors of each of these voices. For example, the 3D NFTs can speak either in a normal speed, or they can speak in a fast speed, or they can speak in a slow speed manner. And if we take a male voice and it is spoken in a slow speed manner, then this voice can come as the voice of a very masculine person, or it can come as the voice of an old person. So if on the other hand we take female voice and it is spoken with a fast speed manner, then this voice can come as the voice of a little girl, or it can come as the voice of a funny person. So that's it regarding to the speaking capability. The next capability for our 3D NFTs given by the 3D software engine is the capability of voice recognition. Like for example, if we have 3D NFT which is loaded in a window and it is moving around the window in a random fashion constantly. You, the user of this 3D NFT, can issue your very first voice command to the 3D NFT to stop moving. And then the 3D NFT is going to stand still and stop moving. Then you can issue full commands to the 3D NFT to move left, move right, move up, move down, zoom in, zoom out, rotate. And then the 3D NFT is going to fulfill each of these commands and move left, then move right, move up, and then move down, come closer, zoom in, go farther away, zoom out, or start rotating. So that's it regarding to the voice recognition capability. And the next capability for our 3D NFTs is the capability of them having a basic artificial intelligence. Wow, really? Wow. You can ask the 3D NFT, what is your name? And then the 3D NFT is going to reply with their name. You can ask the 3D NFT, who are you? And then you can get a reply from the 3D NFT. In few sentences, the 3D NFT is going to tell you who they are. You can ask the 3D NFT to describe something. For example, describe Web3, or describe decentralization, or describe Russia. And then the 3D NFT is going to describe in few sentences about Web3, or about decentralization, or about the country called Russia. So that's it regarding to the basic artificial intelligence capability. And the last but not least important capability of our 3D NFTs is the capability of us users seeing the 3D NFTs in real 3 dimensions. Currently, there is a version of the 3D NFT which is displayed on a flat 2-dimensional computer screen, and like it is animated, but essentially we're using our imagination to imagine the 3D object which is displayed on a 2D computer screen in 3 dimensions. But our 3D NFTs are going to have a second version of the 3D object, and this second version is going to be displayed in a way of stereoscopics. What stereoscopics means is that part of the 3D NFT is going to be displayed in red or reddish colors, and Other part of the 3D NFT is going to be displayed in blue or bluish colors. Then the user can go to our 3D NFT marketplace, and probably this is the moment I can tell you the name and the URL of our 3D NFT marketplace. It is 3dnft.decentralizedweb.org. 3D NFT is typed in a way of the number 3 followed by the letter D followed by 3 other letters NFT, and this is altogether 3D NFT. Then there is dot, then there are 2 words, decentralized and web. They're all together decentralized web. Then there is dot, and it ends with org. Once again, 3dnft.decentralizedweb.org. And you can see on the main page a composite image of our first collection. You can click on this image, and then you're going to see close to the top of the screen a number of links, and one of these links is going to show accessories. When you click on the accessories link, then you are going to see that we're offering special glasses, and when you order one pair of these glasses, and when you receive these glasses, you're going to see that one lens of these glasses is red, and the other lens of these glasses is blue. Then you can, when you receive these glasses, you can put these glasses on. You can request displaying of the 3D NFT in a way of stereoscopics, and then you're going to see the 3D NFT as coming out of the flat two-dimensional computer screen, and you're going to see the 3D NFT in real 3 dimensions. So that's the last capability of our 3D NFTs and our 3D software engine. But let me tell you a little bit also about our 3D NFT marketplace. So I did tell you the URL of our 3D NFT marketplace, and so what is special and unique about our 3D NFT marketplace is that it is going to be offering predominantly and like all of the items and all of the objects on the 3D NFT marketplace are going to be based on 3-dimensional objects. Compare this with ordinary NFT marketplaces where they're almost always based on flat, static, and 2-dimensional JPEG or PNG images. Occasionally there are videos, occasionally there are animated GIF images, but these videos or these images, they're showing something constantly from A to Z. There is no change, there is no additional capability, and there is no artificial intelligence or a way of seeing them in real 3 dimensions. So in addition to this difference, our 3D NFT marketplace have our own blockchain instance with a few number of nodes, and our own blockchain instance is running the same Ethereum software which runs on Ethereum mainnet, and it runs on Polygon Matic, it runs on Avalanche AVAX, and like a very large number of other blockchains. So what is also special about this software is the difference in network ID. The Ethereum mainnet has network ID number 1, and our network ID for our blockchain network of blockchain nodes is 124. Polygon Matic and Avalanche AVAX and all of the other blockchains which are running Ethereum software have different and unique network ID. So this makes us like when users come to our 3D NFT marketplace, they like to purchase one of our 3D NFTs. Then we are doing deployments of the smart contracts for the non-fungible tokens on our own blockchain instance, and we do not require our users to pay gas fees for deployments, and then gas fees for transfers of ownership from one user to another user of our 3D NFTs. So that's benefit, but additional benefit which is coming from having our own blockchain instance is the benefit of our users having capability of making payments in multiple different crypto coins. Currently, we have a choice of for our users who come to purchase our 3D NFTs, and when they decide to pay with crypto, they have a choice of paying either with Solana Sol or with Polygon Matic or with Avalanche AVAX or with Qcoin, which is a big centralized crypto exchange. They have a coin called KCS. In addition to paying with crypto, with choice of 4 different crypto coins, we have a second parallel and independent way of paying directly with fiat currency. I can give an example. For example, if you're the user and you come to our 3D NFT marketplace, you click on the composite image for our first collection, then you're going to see a list of all of our 265 objects of 3D NFTs of our first collection. Then you're going to see one 3D NFT which you like. You click on the image for this 3D NFT, and you're going to see a page which has a video of this 3D NFT, and then there's a drop-down screen which tells you to select one of the 4 crypto coins or select paying with fiat currency. So let's say you select paying with fiat currency, and then when you click on the button to make the payment, then you're going to come to a screen which is going to ask you to put the number of your debit or credit card, expiration date, CVV, and like when you click on payment, then a transaction is made, which is converting from your national currency, national fiat currency, to US dollars, and this payment is deposited in our bank account. So then we're going to be having a transfer of ownership. Our project is going to be having the initial ownership, and then the first buyer of 3D NFT is like we're going to transfer the ownership from our collection to the first buyer, and then the first buyer is going to be the owner of this 3D NFT. They're going to be using this 3D NFT for a while, and let's say at some point they decide to put this 3D NFT for sale. So they are going to put the price for the sale they decide, and then the 3D NFT of this user is going to be listed together with all of the other 3D NFTs which are placed for sale from their owners, or they have not been sold previously. So let's say there's a second user, they come to our 3D NFT marketplace, they start browsing, and let's say they decide to that they like the 3D NFT of this first initial user who put this 3D NFT for sale. So what is going to happen is the second user is going to like if they decide to make a payment directly with fiat currency, then they're like putting their debit or credit card number, expiration date, and CVV, and when they perform the click the button to make the payment, then there's a transaction from the debit and credit card from the national currency of the second user. There's conversion from the national fiat currency to US dollars, and this transaction is deposited in our bank account. So this action is followed by transfer of ownership from the first user to the second user, and the second user then becomes owner of this 3D NFT. So then we have following action, like we're going to initiate a transfer from our bank account and conversion from US dollars to the national currency of the first user, who is now a former owner of the 3D NFT, and this first user is going to receive the proceedings from the sale of their formerly owned 3D NFT into their bank account. So I did describe the second parallel and independent way of buying and selling of 3D NFTs on our 3D NFT marketplace. And with this said, I am ending the initial the initial talk about our project and coming back to the topic of today, which is inflation seen as a perverse redistribution from wages to profits. The topic was inspired by an article which I did read, and this article touches on economy, and it touches a little bit on psychology as well. And so, if we are looking at so if we're looking a little bit of in the past history, like in around 2020, in the beginning of 2020, we did experience the COVID pandemic. And the COVID pandemic did last for about a year and a half, and then it did subside, but it was followed by strong inflation. Almost every country in the world it did experience inflation, which resulted in increases in the price of almost everything compared with the time before the COVID pandemic. But inflation is finally coming down, and it is coming down both in US and European countries. Like many high-income countries have witnessed inflation rates approaching or even exceeding double digits. In the case of the US economy, the increase in unit prices reached its zenith between the second and third quarters of 2022, following 2 years of continuous increases. Subsequently, the inflation rate has gradually receded, tracing a pattern reminiscent of a bell curve, essentially returning to pre-shock levels. The fading away of inflation has been faster than expected for many analysts and policy makers, since it has corresponded with an unprecedentedly fast increase in interest rate by the US Federal Reserve, which is acting as US central bank in the US, and in the European Union by the European Central Bank. Most commentators have attributed decreasing inflation to contractionary monetary policy by the central banks, vindicating the old monetarist mantra. Central bank would have put an end to an era of too much money chasing too few goods, and even better, they did that without harming production and employment. Mainstream outlets are also singing the praises of central banks for having restored price stability while ensuring a so-called soft landing. But not all that glitters is gold, as the saying is saying. And like inflation episodes always create winners and losers. In the post-COVID recovery, profits have contributed disproportionately more than wages to inflation pressures. Despite some cyclical fluctuation, mainly due to the resurgence of the pandemic first and of the energy crisis then, some figures show that price changes have been associated with a significant increase in unit profits, while evolution have greatly surpassed both overall price and wage changes. Conversely, labor costs have increased far less, with nominal wages starting to rise in 2021, but keeping well below overall price increases, and this results in actual reduction in real wages. Overall, the last few months, some like monetary policy institutes and commentators have hosted debates considering whether inflation was profit-driven, and there have been opposing views. A great deal of fuss revolves around the definition of profit inflation and the notion of conflict. In the context of profit inflation, the actors in this debate hold divergent views, sometimes identifying it as a persistent process driven by greed, while some other linking it with temporary price level increases resulting from cost push stock shocks and markup / profit share targeting. Similarly, the term conflict holds nuanced interpretations. On one hand, wages could be seen as an exclusive source of conflict, while on the other hand, the actors of profit earners defending and seeking to increase their margins could also be regarded as instances of social conflict. In some papers, there are attempts to provide a synthesis to this debate, developing micro and micro framework in which an initial cost push shock has both direct and indirect effect on prices and income distribution. These two channels lead to temporary inflation while permanently tilting the functional distribution of income in favor of profit earners. In cost plus pricing, producers' unit prices depend on two elements. First, on cost, labor, energy, raw materials, intermediate products, and second, on the markup which the producer is putting. There are many elements to believe that price surges both in the US and Europe were caused by a cost push effect, caused first by supply bottlenecks, like after COVID containment measures were eased, and then by energy price spikes following the Russian war with Ukraine, which is affecting particularly and significantly the European countries. In a simple markup pricing equation, this would be associated with an increase in the price of energy, raw materials, and intermediate products. Accordingly, like the markup, entrepreneurs would pass the higher price of energy, raw materials, and intermediate products to pricing, with final products being more expensive. This is the first channel with costs directly influencing the prices. In this case, as wage costs become relatively less important in the firm's cost structure, the share of wages in overall output will decrease, and conversely the profit share will rise. Whether this can be called profit inflation is ultimately a matter of semantic. Some researchers contend that this is the case, while other researchers think of the idea that profit inflation occurs only when markups are rising. This brings us to our second point. In the unprecedented scenario of the post-COVID recovery, many firms, especially in those sectors labeled as strategically significant, did not limit themselves to defend just their profit margins, but they have actively tried to increase them by endogenously raising their markups. This is undeniably what profit inflation is about. As argued by some researchers, the pandemic shock relaxed the fairness constraint implied in firms' pricing procedure. This allowed firms to exploit the effects of rising concentration built up in the previous decades, with higher costs being the trigger of initial price increase, while providing a camouflage then for further increases caused by rising markups and thus profit margins. Firms cannot, however, raise markups at will. On the contrary, markups should be seen as strongly dependent on sectoral markups, in turn affected by competition, concentration, and profitability constraints. At some point, as process stabilized, both because of the fading away of the initial cost push and of the fact that those constraints have been approached. Profit inflation is real but temporary. The decreasing trend in inflation rates we are observing is vindicating this view. As many post-Keynesians believe that monetary tightening could only do so much when inflation is cost-based, the reduction of inflation rates could be attributed to factors described above. Does that mean that all is well that ends Well, not quite. The rate of changes in prices is going down, but their level is actually permanently higher. In the process, wage earners have lost purchasing power, while profit earners have been able to defend and sometimes increase their profit margins. In other terms, the post-COVID recovery has constituted yet another episode of perverse redistribution from wages to profits. Monetary policy can do little to reverse that, and most likely higher rates will contribute to making the process starker. Income policies, long forgotten in policy making and policy debates, could be a valuable tool to foster real wage growth, allowing for an adequate increase in wage share. And with this said, I'm going to be ending this presentation. Thank you for listening. Thank you for coming. Once again, I like to invite you to come and join our community, and like you can go to our 3D NFT marketplace, and once again the name and the URL is 3dnft.decentralizedweb.org. 3D NFT is written in a way of the number 3 followed by the letter D followed by 3 other letters NFT, and it is all together 3D NFT. Then there is dot, then there are 2 words, decentralized web, then there is dot, and it ends with org. Once again, 3dnft.decentralizedweb.org. On the bottom of every page of our 3D NFT marketplace, you're going to see the icons of the social networks that we're posting on. You can click on one of or more of these icons. You can become a follower, or you can become a member of a group and get notified about the events, just like the event today. And today is Sunday. The channel on which the event is happening is Instagram Live. This is video and audio channel, and this is a recurring weekly educational event. Thank you for coming. Have a nice day, have a nice evening, and goodbye.